At a busy airbase in the Middle East, the early morning was marked by an atmosphere of calculated urgency. Military vehicles, logistics, trucks, and cargo containers lined the tarmac, all awaiting loading into the massive C-17 Globemaster III transport aircraft. Among the organized chaos, an all-female aircrew stood out with their precision and focus. They handled everything from systems checks to cargo oversight with a quiet professionalism that spoke volumes. Their seamless coordination and unwavering attention to detail reflected not only skill but deep integration into frontline operational rhythms. As the aircraft's engines roared to life, the crew moved swiftly. Female pilots and mission specialists sprinted across the sun-scorched runway, their flight suits rippling in the desert heat. Each woman instinctively fell into place. Some climbed toward the cockpit to run avionics checks, while others prepared mission-critical tools and systems for launch. Inside the flight deck, the female pilots assumed control with quiet authority. They carried out systematic inspections of satellite links, digital displays, and flight controls, not out of routine, but because every system needed to be flawless. Here, women occupied roles long dominated by men, now proving that ability, not gender, defines leadership. Their presence was no longer symbolic. They were in charge of strategic operations with real consequences. Outside the aircraft, the ground logistics crew worked non-stop to load dozens of pallets. Forklifts zipped around the tarmac, radios buzzed with commands, and steel containers clanked into place. The loads, ranging from ammunition to medical kits and communication systems, were grouped with high precision. Priority pallets were loaded last for quicker deployment. In the background, loadmasters recalculated the aircraft's weight and balance, monitoring every shift of cargo that could affect aerodynamics. Every movement followed strict planning, guided by physics and mission urgency. The loading sequence was a dance of strategy and engineering. Pallets destined for the final drop zones were loaded first, while those needed earlier were stacked last. Inside the aircraft, the cargo control panel helped technicians ensure the center of gravity was within optimal range. Cargo directors double-checked the rails and locking mechanisms, confirming that even under turbulence or emergency maneuvers, the cargo would stay secure. Every strap, lock, and pressure-rated container was verified. Hazardous materials were arranged according to military regulations, while encrypted communications kept coordination flowing between ground and airborne personnel. Every action was connected to a larger goal, getting vital equipment safely to soldiers in active conflict zones. The weight of that responsibility was shared by the entire team, driving them to operate with relentless intensity. What looked like logistics was actually the foundation of battlefield success. At the rear of the aircraft, another female-led team operated hydraulic rail systems to guide massive steel crates into position. With digital scanners and onboard monitors, they adjusted cargo placement down to inches. Mistakes were unacceptable. One misaligned load could disrupt flight stability. While they worked, maintenance teams simultaneously checked fuel levels, inspected engine performance, and reviewed weather and threat forecasts. Using real-time intelligence, they updated flight paths to avoid hostile radar coverage. On this mission, every layer of preparation showed how far the military had come in integrating women into roles requiring advanced technology and high-stakes decisions. Speed and flexibility defined the operation. In just minutes, the C-17 would depart, adapting as needed to an ever-changing theater of war. The mission itself was part of a high-tempo deployment strategy, reinforcing Allied positions across unstable zones. In these circumstances, agility was just as critical as accuracy. Mid-mission adjustments, like changing the drop zone due to evolving enemy activity, required fast, clear decisions. The female aviators excelled under these conditions, interpreting intelligence feeds, adjusting plans, and executing shifts without hesitation. Their command of the aircraft and confidence in each other kept operations safe and on course. They weren't just fulfilling roles, they were redefining them. From pre-flight to post-drop operations, their impact was undeniable. They brought precision, mental resilience, and leadership to every phase of the mission. Gender was no longer a variable, it was irrelevant to their capability to lead high-risk strategic operations. As the C-17 taxied to the runway, the powerful roar of its engines signaled readiness. In the cockpit, final systems checks were complete. Navigation modules, radar, and encrypted communications were green-lit. Crew harnesses clicked into place, and the cargo was locked down to withstand rapid altitude changes or evasive maneuvers. As the plane accelerated and took off, there was no hesitation among the crew. Their focus was absolute. Monitoring radar for threats, checking satellite signals, and adjusting flight parameters were all part of a coordinated dance that kept the aircraft invisible and efficient. Every change in direction or speed followed intelligence reports. Even with possible enemy interception or radar lock-on, they remained composed, making decisions based on training and trust. Upon reaching the designated drop zone, the cargo crew triggered the automated release mechanism. GPS synced to the ground, pallets slid one by one from the cargo ramp, parachutes deploying with high precision. These supplies rations, munitions, medical gear were vital to frontline units. Each delivery was timed to the second. After confirming a successful drop, the crew didn't relax. New coordinates arrived from command for a secondary delivery in another zone. With fluid teamwork, they recalibrated systems, checked fuel, and entered the updated route. No complaints, no delay, just action. Even mid-mission redirection had become routine. They adapted without pause, continuing the mission at full operational tempo. Next came a critical task: mid-air refueling. A KC-135 Stratotanker locked into position above them. As the refueling boom extended, pilots on both aircraft maintained absolute control despite turbulence. Communications remained locked through secure channels. Fuel tank pressures, pump flow, and aircraft stability were constantly monitored. One misstep could jeopardize the mission, but the crew managed it with surgical accuracy. Ground command followed the procedure in real time, issuing updates as the tank filled. When complete, the boom was retracted, and both aircraft resumed their trajectories. The C-17, now fully refueled and carrying new coordinates, soared forward toward the next operational zone. There would be no pause, no downtime, just a renewed mission powered by skill, discipline, and unity. This team of women had proven they belonged in every sense in leadership, in combat support, and in every crucial decision that shapes the outcome of military operations. They were no longer exceptions to the rule, they were the rule. And the mission continued, with their resolve etched into every flight mile, every ton of cargo, and every life depending on their success.